Late?
Yeah, we had obviously, this Saturday being Veterans Day, a military appreciation game. Monday night we do family dinner. Coaches, staff, families come to dinner. Players, sometimes players bring their girlfriends, bring their families. It's just a nice chance for us all to come together each week. And this week we had wives, sons, daughters of deployed military members. So they joined us with a family dinner. Just now we had nine veterans come with their families, watch practice. And then at the very end, Wheels for Warriors presented one of the veterans with a bike, a motorcycle, a Husker motorcycle. I've never seen anything like it. Our players were mesmerized. So they all thought I was going to ride it out of the tunnel. I'll leave that to Ted Carter. So it was really cool to be a part of that. So.
Do you have an update on guys like Malcolm Hartzog and Prince Will, just kind of how they progress this week?
Yeah, Malcolm is we expect to play, and Prince Will, we're still going through the process, so we'll see how that lands.
What do you think of the way that Emmett Johnson's ran the ball last couple of weeks, especially kind of the tough interior runs?
I think Emmett's played really well, doing a great job as a third down back, doing a great job in route running the ball down between the tackles. The 4-minute run against Purdue to end the game was great. And I think you're just going to see him continually make jumps as he plays more and has more opportunities.
Back to the military appreciation theme, it seems like obviously football and service are intertwined in a lot of ways. How do you maybe try to incorporate that into your program, just the military discipline and things like that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple components to it. First of all, I think there's obviously the respect for the service and the opportunities that are afforded to us by men and women all over the world who protect our freedoms and protect our way of life and give us the opportunity to do things. It hits close to home. As Trev's introducing the veterans, and his son is in the military. He's in the U.S. Army, has been deployed. So, you start to see it as it hits home. In terms of like the ethos of our program, of wanting to watch everyone build personal excellence while always putting team excellence above themselves, while the concepts of, not just discipline, but to me, it's about sacrifice. It's about, protecting the unit and the greater good and making that willing choice. I think that's what allows our military to be as proficient and elite as they are. And so those are the same things we're trying to get our guys to do, to go out there and in the midst of adversity, in the midst of fear, in the midst of doubt, in the midst of, whatever, have a love of the University of Nebraska football, have a love of their teammates that allows them to overcome those things. And so I think all of those tenets, are woven, and you see them in the military. And they're really parts of all great organizations. And so we're always trying to build that.
The defense up to this point has, had a great year and, maybe took a step back a little bit at Michigan State. I know you got fired up about it. Coach White got fired up about it. Now they got a test with Maryland coming in. What do you work on them, or what do you work on specifically with them in practice?
Well, I think when you go back and look at like Michigan State, it's the same game as lots of other games, right? It's just when we gave up a big play and we tackled it, you go back to Northwestern, there was 3 trips to the red zone, it was 3 field goals. This past game, those balls got down there and it was a touchdown. So then the ball game kind of gets a little bit away from you. And it was 20-10, it's really not that far away from you. It ends up being 2017. So I think it's just consistently, we're always working on technical things. We're always working on how hard we play, how physical we are. This week presents unique challenges in that they're going to come out and they're going to go tempo. They're going to come out and they're going to throw RPOs. They're going to come out and they're going to throw perimeter screens. They're going to come out and they're one of 3 teams in the country that's thrown 30 passes in every game in the last 2 years. It's 12 straight games with a touchdown pass. They're going to chuck it. They're going to throw it around. They're also going to run it. They're also going to get the ball on the perimeter. They have excellent playmakers, a great quarterback, great scheme. So for us, it's, you can't change what you do. It's about our guys just focusing in and trusting themselves and making their play last week, you go back to last week, 2 big plays, one given up on a double move, one given up on a double pass, having great eyes, having great help, having great, depth at safety. We have guys, who, it's one thing to rush in the fourth quarter of a game when you have the lead. We're going to have to rush the entire game. So it'll be a real challenge for our defense. Anytime you play against great players, it's a real challenge. And I don't want them playing defense trying to win the game. When you do that, you never play great defense because you're like, I don't want to give up a big play because, the score's tight. Defense is about cutting loose and going and playing and attacking, and they'll make plays. They're the third best offense, the third most big plays in the Big Ten. That's just in Big Ten games. That's taking out the non-conference games. So they're going to make plays, and I just want to see our defense go compete and battle. And I think it's really exciting to be playing a team of this caliber this time of year. I wish it was icy and snowy and all those things. Sounds like it's going to be a great day. So, we're just going to have to go play.
Sat's been in the box for the past couple of weeks. What have you liked about moving him up there? What have you not liked?
Yeah, I've always liked my coordinators just to kind of pick and see what they want, how they feel. And, I think he has been able to see some things, just, kind of be a little bit more, outside of the moment and just be a little bit more in an antiseptic environment. So I think those things have been good for him. We've had some unique challenges in that, kind of around, a lot of like getting plays in, things started to come up. Elliott Brown really took on that role for us as Garrett went up. And Elliott Brown, who's a coach on the field and an excellent football player as well, was signaling for us. Elliott, unfortunately, had a pretty bad knee injury last Wednesday. Elliott, on 2 days' notice with a torn ACL and a knee brace, goes to Michigan State and signals, standing on the field the entire game. Comes to me this week and says, they want to do surgery on Thursday, Coach, but I'll wait till the end of the year so I can continue to signal and help the team, which would mean it would push into training camp. And I said, absolutely not, get your surgery. So Garrett might have to come down now as a result just to make sure, we're getting the wideouts in the game. And, we have a bunch of young wideouts, and so it's just, making sure they understand what's happening. So Garrett might come down, but Sat would come up. I would stay up, and I like that. I like that if Tony's comfortable on the field and Sat's more comfortable up there, and Ed's more comfortable on the field, to me, it's really about those guys just being in the best environment for them to think and attack.
How's Billy Kemp progressed, and do you expect to be more involved in the offense?
Yeah, I think Billy has a chance to play this week. He's practiced more this week. It's still a couple weeks out from where the doctor said, but Billy's an elite competitor, an elite. He's done everything possible to get himself out there. He wanted to play last week, so I think there's a chance Billy could give us some reps this week in certain roles.
Is Deshaun close?
No, yeah, Deshaun unfortunately had a setback when he came back. None worse, but not close to playing.
What's been the key with Isaac Gifford doing what he's done defensively for you guys this year?
Isaac's smart. He's tough. He's physical. He's fast. He's gotten through the. He's killed the bear in his mind. In terms of he now knows he's a good player. It's once you figure out you're a good player, when you have a bad play, it's a bad play. It's not, oh my goodness, am I a bad player? And young players quite often, as I say to them all the time, you can fail. It doesn't mean you're a failure. I talk a lot about my time in Carolina. Hey, I failed there, but it doesn't mean I was a failure. And Isaac knows he's a good player now. He's probably knew it before, but he's confident. If a play doesn't go out right, he just relaxes, comes back and plays the next play. He directs traffic out there. He makes a lot of checks. He's got a lot of different moving parts. We're still kind of thin. We're kind of in the beginning stage of this thing. So we have guys playing corner and safety. Malcolm's playing safety for 2 series, goes over and plays corner. That's not really how it'll be in the long run as we develop guys. But I love this group and what they do. And so I think he's a big key back there to getting everyone kind of lined up and having great communication. It'll be a real challenge this week with the tempo. We kind of like playing tempo teams sometimes. It allows us just to kind of get in a rhythm and play. But if you let them get on a roll, it can steamroll on you. So he has to do a great job of getting the calls and making all the checks.
Going back to Billy, do you expect continuing with the punt returner, or do Ethan Nation maybe get more of a look there?
Yeah, I think that's all up. That's kind of that's all up to kind of the game situation. As you know, Memorial Stadium, the sun, the wind, all things can be a factor. Ethan's worked it all week. Billy's worked it all week. They're both ready to go. Emmett Johnson's worked it all week. So we'll kind of get closer to the game and kind of play it as the game goes out.
You've played against a lot of really good quarterbacks, going to the NFL and college as well. What are kind of the similarities that this, Talia Tagovailoa kind of brings compared to the ones that you've prepared for in the past?
Yeah, my favorite ones are the ones who, and I say this with the greatest respect for these, are the ones who aren't like the 7-on-7 kings, Glenn Foley's Ed Foley's brother, longtime NFL quarterback. He always called him. He'd be like, "Be careful of the shotgun babies, man." I said, "What does that mean?" Like, they grew up, they're in the shotgun, everything feels good. Like, you watch Talia play, man, he's running around, he's making plays, he's not playing a 7-on-7 league where there's no one around him. Like, not many quarterbacks. Most young quarterbacks, hey, they get out to their right, they'll throw it down to the left, they run it. He gets out to his left. He's out, might even be more dynamic throwing the ball down the field. So he's playing quarterback, like he's playing the game, and that's what makes him great, and that's what makes him really a special player. And so when you look at the NFL, you look at the guys who are playing at a high level in their own separate ways, right? Like everything doesn't have to be perfect, You turn on Patrick Mahomes, his best plays are sometimes when things do break down. And so I think the thing about Talia is he can play from the pocket, he can play from outside the pocket, he can throw the ball deep. He's got great rhythm. He doesn't get balls batted down. So he's a just an all around great player. All right, guys, good to see you.